Tonight, when the sun goes down, you will probably turn on a light without thinking about it. A lamp, a phone screen, a television glowing in the corner. Darkness will arrive, but it will never fully take over. Yet the real answer to what night means is far stranger. For almost all of human history, there was no switch to flip, no glowing screen, no city lights stretching across the horizon. When the sun disappeared, darkness became one of the most powerful forces in human life. What did your ancestors actually do at night? Most people imagine a simple answer. They think ancient humans finished dinner, lay down, and slept until sunrise. It sounds reasonable. It sounds efficient. It is also wrong. Night was not empty. Night was a world of its own. And understanding that world explains surprising things about your fears, your imagination, your sleep, and even the stories you tell yourself today. Imagine standing outside with no artificial light at all. Not a single street lamp. Not a glowing window. Not a distant highway. The stars above would be so bright that they would feel almost unreal. The Milky Way would stretch across the sky like a river of light. Today, many people have never truly seen it. Your ancestors saw it almost every night. The night sky was not decoration. It was information. It was a calendar. It was a map. It was a source of stories that helped entire communities understand their place in the world. Anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer societies have found that stories are often shared after sunset. During the day, attention goes toward survival. Food must be found. Tools must be repaired. Children must be watched. Night creates a different kind of space. A space for memory. A space for teaching. A space for imagination. Could that be why so many of your favorite stories still feel better after dark? Around ancient campfires, knowledge moved from one generation to the next. People explained which animals were dangerous. They remembered migrations. They preserved history. They discussed relationships. They joked. They argued. They sang. The fire became a social technology long before writing ever existed. Researchers such as Polly Wiesner have observed that evening conversations in traditional societies often become more reflective and imaginative than daytime conversations. As darkness falls, discussion shifts away from immediate practical concerns and towards storytelling, social bonding, and abstract thinking. That pattern may be incredibly old. Your brain might still be following it. Have you ever noticed how strange thoughts arrive late at night? There may be a reason. Fire changed everything. Before humans controlled fire, night belonged largely to predators. Large cats hunted. Hyenas roamed. Dangerous animals moved through the darkness with advantages humans did not possess. Then, something extraordinary happened. Human beings learned to carry sunlight into the night. Richard Wrangham, one of the best-known researchers studying fire and human evolution, argues that cooking and fire transformed human life in profound ways. Fire provided protection. It provided warmth. It expanded the hours available for social interaction. The day became longer. Human culture became deeper. The circle around a fire created one of the safest places in an otherwise dangerous world. Beyond the glow existed uncertainty. Inside the glow existed community. That contrast mattered. The bright circle and the dark unknown may have helped shape how humans think about safety even now. Why do dark rooms sometimes feel unsettling despite being harmless? Why do shadows seem capable of hiding things that logic says are not there? Your ancestors spent hundreds of thousands of years treating darkness as a place where genuine threats could emerge. Evolution pays attention to patterns that repeat. And darkness repeated itself every day. Yet ancient nights were not only about fear, they were also about wonder. Without electric light, the natural rhythms of the world became impossible to ignore. The phases of the moon mattered. Seasonal changes mattered. The movement of stars mattered. People watched. They remembered. They built traditions around what they saw. Long before telescopes existed, humans were studying the sky. Some of the earliest monuments ever constructed appear connected to astronomical events. Ancient people tracked solstices, lunar cycles, and seasonal shifts with remarkable precision. The night sky was one of humanity's oldest classrooms. You can still feel traces of that fascination today. Why else would people stop and stare at an eclipse? Why else would a sky full of stars feel meaningful even when you know the science behind it? Part of your mind responds not just to information, but to scale. The night sky reminds you how large reality is. Ancient humans experienced that reminder constantly. Sleep itself was different. Modern people often imagine that 8 uninterrupted hours of sleep are natural. Yet historian A. Roger Ekirch uncovered evidence suggesting that many pre-industrial societies practiced what he called segmented sleep. People often slept in 2 separate periods. They would fall asleep for several hours after nightfall. Then they would wake for a period in the middle of the night. During this time, they might pray, talk, reflect, tend a fire, or visit neighbors. Eventually, they would return to sleep until morning. For centuries, this pattern may have been completely normal. Think about that for a moment. If you wake up in the middle of the night and wonder whether something is wrong, your ancestors might have considered that perfectly ordinary. The industrial world changed many sleeping habits. Artificial light extended evenings. Work schedules became more rigid. Human behavior adapted. But older patterns may still echo inside modern minds. Night also changed emotions. Darkness reduces visual information. Familiar environments become less predictable. Sounds seem louder. Distances become harder to judge. Your brain responds by becoming more alert. Researchers studying perception have shown that uncertainty influences emotional reactions. When information decreases, the mind often fills gaps with possibilities. Sometimes useful possibilities. Sometimes frightening ones. That is one reason ghost stories flourish after sunset. The darkness is not creating monsters. The darkness is creating uncertainty. And uncertainty is fuel for imagination. Ancient humans understood this feeling intimately. Every strange sound beyond the firelight demanded attention. Most sounds were harmless. Some were not. Missing a real threat could be fatal. Overreacting to a harmless sound was usually safer. Natural selection often favors caution when the cost of being wrong is high. This may explain why your heart occasionally races after hearing an unexpected noise at night. The response is ancient, very ancient. Night also brought people closer together. During daylight hours, individuals could spread out across landscapes while gathering food, tracking animals, or performing tasks. Darkness encouraged regrouping. People returned. Conversations happened. Relationships formed. Children listened. Knowledge accumulated. The anthropologist Robin Dunbar has argued that social bonding played a major role in human evolution. Shared experiences help groups function. Night provided opportunities for exactly those experiences. The fire was not merely warm, it was social glue. Imagine a small group sitting together beneath thousands of visible stars. Flames crackle softly. Faces glow orange. Stories pass from one voice to another. No notifications, no advertisements, no endless scrolling. Just attention, just presence. For much of human history, that scene was ordinary. Today, it feels almost exotic. Could that be why campfires still feel strangely comforting? Could that be why people gather around fireplaces, candles, and outdoor fires even when central heating exists? Perhaps those experiences activate ancient expectations hidden inside the human mind. Night also played a role in spiritual beliefs. Dreams felt significant because their origins were mysterious. Strange visions appeared while sleeping. Dead relatives seemed to return. Impossible events unfolded. Without modern neuroscience, these experiences demanded explanation. Many cultures viewed dreams as messages, journeys, warnings, or encounters with other realms. Even now, dreams can feel emotionally real long after waking. Your ancestors lived in a world where the boundary between dream and reality often seemed less clear. Darkness encouraged reflection. Reflection encouraged meaning-making. Meaning-making encouraged culture. The chain is surprisingly powerful. And then there was the moon. The moon transformed night from complete darkness into something more complicated. A bright full moon could illuminate landscapes. Travel became easier. Hunting patterns shifted. Animal behavior changed. Humans noticed. Of course they noticed. For countless generations, the moon was one of the most reliable features of life. Its cycle repeated endlessly. Its presence shaped myths across continents. Its influence appears throughout art, religion, and storytelling. Even today, people remain fascinated by it. Some connections are difficult to erase. What is perhaps most surprising is that ancient nights were often louder than people imagine. Insects buzzed, animals called, wind moved through grass and trees, water flowed. The modern world has trained many people to expect mechanical noise. Ancient humans experienced biological noise instead. The soundtrack was different. The brain listening to it was not. Your nervous system evolved in environments filled with natural sounds. That may help explain why many people find rain, ocean waves, and forest sounds relaxing. Those sounds are ancient companions. They accompanied human beings long before recorded music existed. As night continued, eventually the horizon would begin to brighten. A subtle change, then another. Darkness slowly retreated. Morning arrived. For your ancestors, sunrise represented more than a new day. It represented survival. You made it through another night. The dangers remained outside. The uncertainties remained real. Yet the light returned once again. That cycle repeated for thousands upon thousands of generations. Light, dark, light again. The rhythm became woven into human biology. Today, modern technology has altered the experience. Cities glow all night. Screens follow you into bed. Artificial illumination pushes back darkness in ways your ancestors could never have imagined. Yet the ancient night has not completely disappeared. You can still find it in remote places. You can still see it in a sky crowded with stars. You can still feel it when a campfire flickers against darkness and conversation becomes deeper than usual. Most importantly, you can still find it inside yourself, in the stories that feel meaningful after sunset, in the strange thoughts that arrive when the world becomes quiet, in the comfort of gathering with other people around a shared source of light, in the small surge of alertness that appears when an unexpected sound breaks the silence. These reactions are not random. They are echoes. Echoes from countless nights lived by countless ancestors. So what did ancient humans actually do at night? They watched the stars. They told stories. They protected one another. They dreamed. They wondered. They feared. They connected. And in doing so, they created many of the behaviors that still shape your life today. Tonight, when the sun goes down and you reach for a light switch without thinking about it, remember that darkness once ruled half of every human life. And the habits you carry into the night may still belong to a world illuminated only by fire.